Good afternoon and welcome to Chargers Outside Zone. I'm Chuck,
I'm Thomas.
and today we're going to look at the 2022 Las Vegas Raiders. As an AFC Divisional opponent,
Yes.
we thought we wanted to take an episode, look at their roster, their offseason moves, and see what we have to prepare for come week one of the
Week
regular
one.
season.
And we'll talk about them more as the season goes on.
Right, especially ahead of that week one matchup.
Yes.
But first, this is a father-son hobby. We are not experts, and we will do our best to stay away from hot takes.
Which we've done pretty well in.
So the biggest part of the Raiders offseason, is the new regime.
Was getting a new regime, basically Patriot West.
Yeah, they decided to move on from Rich Bisaccia and start over with a new head coach, new general manager combo, out with Mike Mayock after the ousting of John Gruden, and a lot of questionable drafts leading up to Mike Mayock's departure. But here you have two pieces from the New England Patriots, as you said, Patriot West.
Patriot West. Also, I thought Rich Bisaccia did really good.
Amazing job by Rich Bisaccia to take a team that was stumbling through the regular season, lost their head coach, and make it to the playoffs. Pretty impressive from Rich Bisaccia. A new regime, and you'll see in the moves that they made in the offseason, just by the sheer number of moves. I'm not going to read through all of these, but there is quite a laundry list of players that they've brought in, players that they've let walk out the door.
Taken out.
Yeah. But their season was definitely highlighted by re-signing Max Crosby, obviously defensive end from that left side of the defense, right side of the offense, whose motor is always running and getting after the quarterback.
Yes.
So they keep him around to...
which I thought was a smart idea.
Good move on their part. They decided in free agency to go ahead and bring in one outside linebacker, defensive end, Chandler Jones. Started out his career with the Patriots, and as soon as they brought in Chandler Jones, they went ahead and sent Yannick Ngakoue to the Colts and got Rock Ya-Sin back in that trade.
We don't know why. It might be
Yeah, not sure if this is a Yannick Ngakoue thing or a new regime thing. Yannick this will make his fifth team.
Fifth.
Yeah, we haven't necessarily looked at his numbers, but so big move there. Obviously, the trading for Devontae Adams and then the large contract extension for Devontae Adams, major move on their part.
Which Devontae wanted.
Yeah, he definitely wanted to get paid, wanted to play for the Raiders.
Couldn't get it from Green Bay.
Right.
He really wanted to play with for the Raiders anyway.
Yeah. As you see down this list, they went ahead and signed free agent Kyler Fackrell, formerly of the Chargers last year, along with a couple other veteran players there on the list, including one off-ball linebacker from the Tennessee Titans, Jayon Brown. The list really continues. It's long and lengthy. They re-signed Jonathan Hankins, their defensive tackle, and then re-signing quarterback Derek Carr.
Yes. To a 4-year extension.
Keeping him with the Vegas Raiders for the foreseeable future.
One thing, the money is only guaranteed for 2022.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Well, you try to manage that a little bit, I guess, if the new regime wanted to cut ties with Derek Carr. They left an out in the contract, but yeah. They went ahead and brought in former Rams linebacker Kenny Young, and then they went ahead and did a couple other trades after the draft. One where they acquired QB Jarrett Stidham from the New England Patriots. We see that as a move to help
install the offense.
Yeah, install Josh McDaniels' offense, bring in Jarrett Stidham, not only as a backup to Derek Carr, but maybe to help out in that quarterback room, be somebody that Derek can look to for input on the Josh McDaniels offense.
Yes.
And then they went ahead and traded away wide receiver Bryan Edwards to the Falcons. Neither one of these two trades involved any other players. That's mostly pick moves. But bringing in Jarrett Stidham, sending out Bryan Edwards, that's what they did.
Yes.
We have here in the draft, I'll read through the draft picks. Obviously, they gave up their first round and second round pick to acquire one Devontae Adams. So they were on the clock first at round 3, pick 90, and got guard Dylan Parham out of Memphis. Showed at the Senior Bowl that even though he was from a small, non-SEC school,
non-Big Ten.
Yeah, non-Big Ten, that he could still play with the big boys at the Senior Bowl. So they went ahead and grabbed guard Dylan Parham. They jumped up in front of the Chargers to take running back Zamir White. Obviously the Chargers then took at 123 running back Isaiah Spiller. So, they weren't taking the running back from the Chargers that they thought. But yeah, they went ahead and brought Zamir White into the running back room.
Yes.
They went back-to-back defensive tackles here in round 4, pick 126. They took LSU defensive tackle Neil Farrell. Round 5, pick 175, defensive tackle Matthew Butler out of Tennessee. Round 7, 238, offensive tackle Thayer Munford out of Ohio State. And finished with round 7, pick 250, running back Britton Brown. And
really weird draft.
Yeah, I would use the word strange and weird. Once you really get past that Dylan Parham pick, did you need another offensive lineman? Did you need 2 defensive tackles? Did you need 2 running backs? Quite weird, quite strange draft here.
I thought they could use another tight end
potentially,
because they or from the Patriots, they use in the Patriots a 2 tight end set.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the biggest thing that jumps out at you is they drafted players for 3 positions. With 6 picks, they took players for 3 positions. With a new regime, I find it hard to believe that you only needed to fill holes at 3 positions.
You should have.
I would think you would need to upgrade some talent at different spots or find something else along the way.
Drafted 6 positions.
Yeah, and the other thing is, round 7, pick 238, I understand the offensive tackle, to add to that room, but where's your special teams help? Usually late round picks, you want to have a mix of people that can get on the field during special teams, and I don't know Britton Brown. I don't know how much he plays on special teams, but it's strange,
quite weird and strange.
All right, so we're gonna move on, and here's what their 90-man roster is made up of. We won't go into all the gory detail, but we'll touch on some things. At the quarterback position, you have Derek Carr. Now, who's the backup? Jarrett Stidham, Nick Mullins. You have Chase Garbers around, so you have 4 quarterbacks.
And you tried out somebody?
Yeah, they brought in Colin Kaepernick for a tryout. Another strange thing about the new regime is You decide to bring in Colin Kaepernick for a tryout, but then you refuse to answer any questions on how it went, why you did it. Like you weren't going to get questions. Like strange.
Yes. It's a very strange question.
In the running back room, somebody help me out here because, they spent a first round draft pick. It wasn't this regime, but it was still this team. Spent a first round draft pick on Josh Jacobs. You declined his 5th-year option. I'm okay with that. But then you have Kenyon Drake, who's done some things. You sign a Brandon Bolden from the New England Patriots. Then you draft 2 players, Zamir White and Britton Brown, and then you sign Amir Abdullah.
Well,
I mean, this running back room is filled. I just don't know exactly how much talent is there from top to bottom.
Well, help me out here. Where did Zamir White
played at Georgia? North-south runner.
Because
not a lot of wiggle.
That's your That's your answer. He was a Georgia player.
Yeah.
Really good team up there.
Yeah, but is he better than Josh Jacobs at this point? Is he better than Kenyon Drake? Is he better than Brandon Bolden? How is he going to get touches?
I don't know.
Yeah. They did send, I guess, fullback Alec Ingold somewhere. Didn't re-sign him, cut him. But they brought in Patriot Jacob Johnson. So obviously a favorite of Josh McDaniels there. And
another Patriot.
I'm sure he'll find a way to get him on the field. Tight end position, Darren Waller, Foster Moreau. They signed Jacob Hollister, and then you have 2 guys here that are younger in that room. You mentioned the Patriots 2 tight end offense. Is Josh McDaniels going to force Darren Waller to be more of an inline tight end and do blocking? I don't know why you would take an elite athlete, move tight end like Darren Waller, and have him do something that's
why
that he can do, but is definitely not his best skill.
That's why you draft a blocking tight end.
Potentially, yeah.
And I didn't really see a blocking tight end in their draft.
Right. Yeah, definitely no tight ends at all.
So I've got to question that.
Yeah, wide receiver, you obviously Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow. Past that, Keelan Cole has moved around a little bit. Mac Hollins, special teams. Demarcus Robinson, not sure there. And then, 5 additional receivers, names I'm not familiar with. Offensive line, Colton Miller at left tackle, Andre James at center, and the rest of this is all up in play. Obviously, Alex Leatherwood, an early first-round pick, not too many years ago. You would like to see him play opposite Colton Miller at the right tackle.
2021?
I think it was a rookie last year, and started at right tackle and then shifted into right guard, but people were surprised that he was taken at the 18th pick, and then then he starts moving inwards. You really need him to pick up one of those tackle positions with his experience, his length, his makeup.
The Raiders haven't drafted very well
over a period of time. As you can see. Yeah, Dylan Parham has a chance to be one of their starting guards. Denzel Good is coming off a knee injury. John Simpson has played guard for them before. So it'll be interesting to see how this thing plays out. They obviously have plenty of bodies in camp to run 3 lines. But they have a lot of work to do on that offensive line for sure.
You don't run 3 lines in football. And
In camp, you do. On the defensive line, hard to really see on the defensive tackle, defensive line. You know, I went ahead and penciled in the 2 draft picks. Also, an Andrew Billings, who's more of a true nose guard. I don't know if he'll make this roster or he won't. Vernon Butler's been around different teams. Will he make the roster? Jonathan Hankins, they re-signed him, so I think he would stay. And then you have some others there in the room, if you will.
On the bench or in the room.
Yeah, defensive ends, Max Crosby, Chandler Jones, obviously starters. Cleveland Farrell, does he have a position on this team? You know, once again, declined his 5th-year option. You know, does he play out his 4th year and then move on? They signed Tayshaun Bauer. Is he ahead of Malcolm Kuntz, who was a draft pick last year from Butler, who's more maybe a little bit smaller than these other guys? But lots of questions around defensive end.
Yes.
Linebackers, as we highlighted, Denzel Perryman, Kenny Young, Jayon Brown. I mean, I have no idea how that's going to shake out. Are you going to, you know, are you in a 4-3 defense? Or are you playing nickel package all the time where, you know, 4 up front, 2 off ball, and then 5?
It's definitely going to be difficult to see what their defense is looking like, and going to be a lot different than the Chargers.
Yeah. At cornerback, you see the name Trayvon Mullen. Past that, they brought in Cravon LeBlanc, Anthony Everett, Rock Ya-Sin. How does that shake out? Who plays outside? Who plays slot? I have no idea. Safeties, you assume that Jonathan Abram holds down that strong safety position. Does Trayvon Merrick fill that free safety position?
Yes.
And then you signed a Roderick Teamer, a Tyree Gillespie, and then, you know, others here in the room. One area where they're very strong, special teams.
Yes.
Great punter, A.J. Cole.
Great kicker.
And as the Chargers unfortunately found out, great kicker in one, Daniel Carlson, who hit that field goal in overtime to send the Raiders on to play Cincinnati.
Well, we're better defensively, so
Yeah, it's really, when in looking at their roster, it's really difficult to understand what the plan is moving forward. You know, we look at the Chargers roster. We started from the 2021 initial 53-man roster.
And that's a video already up on the channel.
Yeah, and then we take a look at the offseason moves, year 2 for Brandon Staley. And, you know, you see the fit of how things come together. And maybe this is just a year 1 issue with a new regime, but really difficult to see what this product's going to be like on the field in 2022. But that brings us to, we have 3 big topics that we'll discuss. And that is, number 1, this new regime out of New England. Obviously, Josh McDaniels' second go-around as a head coach.
Yes.
You know, was the head coach of the Denver Broncos.
So same division.
Moderate success.
So same division.
Then he went back to New England after that.
Yes.
He was given... he was hired by the Indianapolis Colts, but then turned them down.
The Indianapolis Colts.
And now, this year, decides, I'm going to go be the Raiders coach.
I don't know why.
If this works out, I'll be surprised. I see this as a Mark Davis, you know, trying to implement the Patriot way like we were talking about.
Yes.
And the Patriot way outside of New England has
not worked out.
Has not been overly successful. Look at the Texans. Look at Brian Flores in Miami. And they had some success, but
not a lot.
Ended terribly. Just Josh McDaniels' first experience. Matt Patricia in Detroit. So, is this going to be another failed Patriot Way regime outside of New England? I think so.
We'll see.
We'll see. Any other?
Just a lot of questions based off of the regime.
Yeah. And Dave Ziegler looks like a nice enough guy, but he's only been in the NFL 12 years. 3 with the Broncos, 9 with the Patriots. It'll be interesting to see how he fills that general manager role and how he brings success to the team.
And not to compare their GM to our GM, but our GM seems like we're combined.
These two guys are going to be combined because they were hired at the same time, and they're in this thing together, so they're going to have to make it work together.
Yes.
But it'll be interesting to see if they have another. If their second draft is as strange and weird as their first draft.
That's what I was saying. Like last year to this year, not really much change in the draft.
Yeah. The next topic is their new wide receiver.
Yes.
Davante Adams.
We're not questioning Davante Adams.
Highly skilled wide receiver.
Skills.
Whether you're talking top 2, top 3, top 5, top 10 wide receivers in the league, he's always part of that conversation.
Yes.
But he got paid.
He did. He did.
He's now 9 years in the league. This will be his 9th year. He's 29 years old. He's getting to that age 30 mark. In 2021, with Aaron Rodgers, he had 123 receptions, 1,553 yards, averaged slightly over 12.6 yards per catch, and had 11 touchdowns. So, question for you.
Yes.
On the Green Bay Packers with Aaron Rodgers, MVP Aaron Rodgers, he had those numbers. As he shifts to the Las Vegas Raiders with Derek Carr as his quarterback, does he exceed those numbers or do those numbers fall off?
Derek Carr will try to exceed those numbers.
Yeah.
But I think they're either going to stay the same or dip.
Well, it'd be difficult to have the exact same numbers. So
it kind of dip.
Yeah, so you see a regression. I see, Derek Carr has a beautiful downfield ball. I just don't know on this team if you have any speed for him to throw downhill outside of Davante Adams. Davante Adams is a great wide receiver, and he can stack a corner and do the back shoulder fade. Or get on top of the corner and catch it out in front of him. But he and Aaron Rodgers were so in sync all the time, and really took advantage of corners.
Derek Carr is his college quarterback, but that was 8 years ago.
Yeah, and can they develop that chemistry that they know exactly when to go back shoulder or throw out in front? It can be done. It's just a matter of will it be done.
It's not like Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow.
Where they played recently together.
Yes.
It's just, I just think, Aaron Rodgers, obviously the MVP of the league, always puts up great numbers. I just think you have to regress from these numbers.
Somewhat.
Somewhat. And the other thing is you do have a Hunter Renfrow and a Darren Waller that, maybe you don't have the same number of targets as you had in Green Bay. Yeah. And Green Bay is going to be very strange as well, too, right?
Yes.
Now Aaron Rodgers has a whole new room of wide receivers. He's not at OTAs.
Green Bay's not.
You got Amari Rodgers and Christian Watson, Sammy Watkins, or Christian Watson and Sammy Watkins. It's crazy.
Do they have Cobb?
I think Randall Cobb's still around, but he's up in age and he'll do things for you. But yeah, just an amazing move for the NFL that one Devontae Adams shifts from Green Bay to the Vegas Raiders. He got paid, but let's see how this works out in for both teams.
Yes.
The last topic is they went ahead and did that defensive end swap. On paper, it's just a 1-for-1 exchange. There's a Rocky Sin in there as well, but opposite Max Crosby, you went from Yannick Ngakoue to Chandler Jones. Chandler Jones is 32 years old. Started with the Patriots. Is it a Yannick Ngakoue thing? Is this a significant improvement over a Yannick Ngakoue?
Yes. That's a question that I have.
Yeah.
Now, I would have still went with him year one, but still drafted a young.
Yeah, this is definitely where you could have signed a Chandler Jones and tried to find an edge in the draft. Maybe they did. Maybe there wasn't any available where they were picking. But I agree with you that you should have tried to get a little bit younger in that defensive end room.
Yeah.
Chandler Jones had 10.5 sacks last year and 6 forced fumbles for the Arizona Cardinals.
Yes.
Do you see him hitting those numbers with the Raiders or taking a step backwards?
I see him taking a step out.
You think he can improve on those numbers?
I think he can because you got a second edge.
Yeah, you got Max on the other side.
That's really good.
Yeah.
So I think that takes a lot of pressure off him, off the edge that they signed.
Yeah, takes pressure off of Chandler and he can just do his thing.
Yes.
So you think that Chandler Jones is going to take a step forward and put up bigger numbers in 2022 than he did with Arizona?
Yes, because you got Max Crosby on the other end. Yeah,
he did have J.J. Watt early in the season last year with Arizona, and then J.J. Went to IR. I think really depends on the defense. It's a Patrick Graham defense, formerly of the Giants.
Having a running mate really helps Chandler Jones.
Yeah.
No matter who the running mate is, I think.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to watch how the Raiders come together with a very tumultuous, heavy turnover offseason where they made a couple big splash moves in free agency and trading. And but it's year one. And, you have to take that team that you have with all that turnover,
yes,
install an offense, a new offense, install a new defense. You only have three preseason games to get ready, and then they're facing the Los Angeles Chargers.
Well, four.
Are they doing the? Oh, you're right. They have 4 preseason games because they are in the Hall of Fame game against the Jaguars.
Yes.
Yeah. So a little bit of extra there for them. But it's the same time, week one.
But they really need it.
Yeah.
Though.
What's key for the Chargers is they're playing the Raiders week 1 in SoFi Stadium. It's not a must win, obviously, but that's a game that the Chargers have to win. Take advantage of the Raiders trying to figure out who they are. And,
Because
you know,
I think we know who we are.
the Chargers are definitely going to have a better understanding of who they are, you know, who the Chargers are in that week 1 game. Go out there and put it on the Raiders. Get out of there with a W.
Yes.
Awesome. But we'll obviously preview that game ahead of week 1. But with that,
one. Yes.
we're going to start getting out of here. Any other comments, questions? No?
No.
Awesome.
Join us next Tuesday.
Yeah, so Tuesday we'll have a kind of a update on any Chargers news or just a short one. Next Saturday we are doing
I think Broncos.
we're going to go ahead and do the Broncos, take a look at the Broncos. One question we didn't get in before we transition to this slide. Where do the Raiders finish in the AFC West in 2022?
4th.
You're going 4th, huh?
Because you got Chiefs, Broncos, and then Chargers.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs and the Chargers, and with the new regime, the lack of playmaking ability, if you will, on the offense, not so many questions with your first 2 defensive ends, but a ton of questions in the secondary. I think you're right. I think the Raiders regress this year, finish 4th in the division, and do not make the playoffs.
Yes. Which?
Yeah. All right. With that great news of the Raiders not making the playoffs, we'll go ahead and get out of here. Do us a favor. Follow us on Twitter at LAC Outside Zone. On YouTube here,
Please like and subscribe.
Yes, subscribe to the channel, like the video, turn on the notifications. If you want to engage with us, email us at chargersoutsidezone@gmail.com and do us a favor and try and join us every Tuesday and Saturday for a new episode. Thank you so much and have a great weekend.
Have a great 3-day weekend.
Yeah, happy Memorial Day. Bye.
Bye.